It's intentional. Intentional is something that's done on purpose, something that's deliberate. You got to start being intentional with your actions, with your movements, man, with the things you do. When you go to bed at night, you need to be intentional. When you need to go to bed, you need to figure out what time do you want to go to bed at night. Don't be one of those persons who just sit up looking at reels for 2 or 3 hours and you got something to do the next day. You wasting your time. Put yourself on a schedule. Don't look at Facebook before you go to bed. You're trying to wind down. Watching the news is not going to wind you down. Checking Facebook before you go to bed is not going to wind you down. When you wake up in the morning, you want to be intentional with your morning. So you want to eat a healthy, good breakfast. That's important. Something in your stomach, drink you some water. Don't get on Facebook first thing in the morning. Don't watch the news first thing in the morning. You're trying to be intentional. Want to be intentional. Done on purpose. It's deliberate. Saying of the day, when they can't control or manipulate you, they smear you. If they can't control or manipulate you, they're going to go around talking about you. You all right, bro?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so this talk is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional advice, treatment, guidance, or diagnosis. If you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health crisis, substance use and abuse, or suicidal thoughts, dial 988. 988 is available 24/7 nationwide and staffed by trained crisis counselors who are just a text or a call away. 7 Habits of a Self-Destructive Person. We've all done something self-destructive at some point in our lives. I have. Most of the time, it's not intentional. When it doesn't become a habit, self-destructive behaviors are those that are bound to harm you physically or mentally. It may be unintentional, or you may know exactly what you are doing, but the urge is too strong to control. Anyway. Problems can eventually arise when this type of behavior becomes habitual, when it's something that you're doing all of the time. All of the time when these behaviors become habitual. So, 7 habits of a self-destructive person. Number 1, you have a self-defeating mindset.
Check.
People with a self-defeating mindset struggle with thoughts like, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, or I will never be successful. Even when they're in the midst of success, they're waiting for somebody to pull the rug from up under them. They can't last. It won't happen for me like this. Something bad has to happen. Keep telling yourself, and you're going to attract that right into your life. Because it's your most dominant thought. The law of attraction. It brings into our lives the things that are associated with our most dominant thoughts. You have a self-defeating mindset. People with a self-defeating mindset struggle with thoughts like, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, or I will never be successful. Do these thoughts haunt you before heading into a good situation? Think about that. You're heading into a good situation. Do these thoughts haunt you? You get an opportunity. Do these thoughts haunt you? Come on, here we go. A self-defeating mindset is when you have a constant stream of negative thoughts about yourself or your relationship with others, and a rumination, which means you're thinking on negative thoughts constantly. And rumination negatively impacts your self-esteem. A self-defeating mindset can become a self-destructive habit because it does not allow you to be the best version of yourself and is caused by no one other than you. 7 habits of a self-destructive person. Number 2, you stuff your emotions. When we are hiding from our emotions, we fail to acknowledge both our positive and our negative emotions. You know how somebody say grin and bear it? That's BS. You ain't got to grin and bear nothing. If you don't feel good, you just don't feel good. And if you are angry, you're just angry. You just got to figure out, why am I angry? But don't sit there and act like you're not angry. Or don't sit around and be depressed and like saying, before you go into work, let me get myself together before I go into work. And then you go into, hey, hi everybody, how y'all doing? And that is not you, and that's not how you feel. There's nothing wrong with going to your job and saying, look, I'm dealing with something right now. When we are hiding from our emotions, we fail to acknowledge both our positive and negative emotions. This results in a forced deception of our emotional state, leading to both physical and mental health issues that create additional stress on our bodies. You are at risk of having an outburst of emotions. This is all most likely due to deep emotional scarring, like dealing with the death of a loved one. You feel like it's better to not feel anything. You're feeling numb, so you feel like it's better to not feel anything to relieve the pain of grief. Over time, the emotions we stuff start to build up and can be much more harmful when they burst to the surface during a meltdown. So people who usually stuff their emotions, what's coming, what's in their future is a meltdown. And that meltdown could be life or death. 7 habits of a self-destructive person. Number 3, you refuse to take action. People who refuse to take action may overindulge in playing video games instead of finding a much needed job. You ever seen somebody, they play video games and they act like that's their job? My brother. But they don't have a real job. People who refuse to take action may overindulge in playing video games instead of finding a much needed job. They feel like things just aren't worth trying for in the first place. When we fail to take action, you're setting yourself up for failure before you even get started. You might cost yourself relationships, jobs, and other opportunities that require you to take some risk. This kind of behavior can be a very difficult habit to overcome and prevents you from future attempts at being successful in your goals. 7, and the reason why it prevents you from future accomplishments as it relates to goals is because in order to be successful, you got to start small with a small goal. It's like a snowball. When you haven't had any success in a while, everything has been negative, you need one little bitty success, like go and get your ID. See, but what happens is that little bitty goal, that one little bitty accomplishment, lifts your self-esteem a little. And then you go out and you accomplish another goal. And it lifts you up a little bit more. Then you say to yourself, you know what, I can go after some bigger goals. That's how it happens. 7 habits of a self-destructive person. Number 4, you hold on to forced incompetence. Man, I can't learn names. I'm bad at names. As long as I keep saying I'm bad at remembering names, I'm going to be bad at remembering names. People like this sell themselves short when they tell themselves, I'm not good at math. Look, if you tell yourself I'm not good at math, you're not going to be good at math. And you're not going to try to even learn it. I'm not good at math. I can't remember names. I'm having a dumb blonde moment. Forced incompetence is a mindset where you won't try to learn and practice if you believe that you don't have a natural talent for it. If you already think you're not good at it, you're not going to try to learn it. So if I keep saying that I'm not good at names, guess what? When I see somebody, I'm going to try to keep talking to you until I remember your name. Or hopefully you're going to bring up your name. But all I got to do is switch that word and say, I'm good at names. Even though I know I'm not good at names, if I just start saying I'm good at remembering names, I'm good at remembering names, I'm good at remembering names, you will get better at remembering names. That's half the battle. Is believing that you can do it. Forced incompetence is a mindset where you won't try to learn and practice if you believe that you don't have a natural talent for it. This thinking can also be a coping mechanism if you aren't confident in your own abilities. This thinking can also be a coping mechanism if you aren't confident in your own abilities. Unfortunately, this mindset can only set you up for failure and keep you from trying new things and broadening your horizon. So this type of mindset, this forced incompetence, keep you on a hamster wheel. 7 habits of a self-destructive person. Number 5, you socially isolate. Yeah, you socially isolate. When we socially isolate, our friends and family no longer want to talk to us. Maybe they don't reach out to you anymore because you simply ignored all their texts, calls, and invitations to hang out. Isolating yourself from friends and family can be an active or subconscious choice. You might think that you're doing the world a favor, figuring everyone would just be better off if I just stay away. And that's not the truth, because there are some people who love you regardless of what you're telling yourself. In reality, all you are doing is harming yourself and the people close to you by damaging your important relationships and feeding depression and anxiety for yourself. 7 habits of a highly destructive person. Number 6, you are unnecessarily self-sacrificial. You sacrifice yourself for other people because you like to make friends. You are unnecessarily self-sacrificial. People like this are too focused on making others happy that they forget to create their own happiness. Ooh. When you're being self-sacrificial, you feel good and have convinced yourself that you're doing the right thing. But truthfully, this behavior can actually be more self-sabotage. Maybe you decided to follow a professional career path only because your parents wanted that particular path for you. But now you're struggling with work anxiety because your heart has never been in it. You cannot do stuff other people want you to do when your heart is not in it. You got to follow your heart at all times. You got to follow your dreams. You got to create your own goals. Don't let people give you goals. Let somebody send you off to the service at 18. I went off to the service when I was 18. You need to go off to the service when you're 18. You come back with both your legs blown off. 7 habits of a self-destructive person, and the final one, number 7, you abuse alcohol and drugs. Who was the person who said alcohol and drugs? There you go, bro. Yeah, you called that one. You talked that one up. Abusing the use of alcohol and drugs is much more evident in people who are not happy. Because people who are naturally happy, they don't need alcohol and drugs to compensate for not being so. See, because a lot of people, it's a false sense of happiness when they getting drunk. I mean, come on, man. If you staggering around, laughing, and hey, but you just had a conversation with a tree, you're really not having fun. Do y'all think that's fun?
No. The old joke, them pastors get drunk. Like a lot of them Catholic, they get twisted on that lake. That wow. Pastors.
All right, well, I'm going to tell you like this, bro. If you ain't never hugged a stranger's toilet,
whoa.
Right. Y'all fronting, man. Y'all ain't keeping it real. Y'all ain't keeping it real. You ain't keeping it real. But reaching for these substances, you might be using them to escape from negative and toxic situations. Most people do. Meanwhile, the world around you keeps spinning and you will keep falling behind. And then you find yourself in an even worse situation than the one before. Because while you've been getting drunk and while you've been getting high, and when you come off of that high, your problem's been getting worse. And guess what? The first thing looking at you when you're sober up, your problem, like, how you doing? How your mama doing? Yeah, they ain't going nowhere, bro. You can't get rid of that. And then find yourself in an even worse situation than the one before. This can turn into a cycle that negatively affects your physical and your mental health, because you'll be spending your time chasing a feeling, trying to escape problems, when really you just making a problem worse. Because the best way to deal with a problem is to face it head on, with your eyes wide open, looking straight ahead. That's how you deal with your problems, face to face, with your head straight up. Just like this. That's how I deal with mine. I don't run from nothing. Deal with them, bro. We grown men in here. They not going nowhere. And you tougher than your problems. All right, 7 habits of a self-destructive person. Number 1, you have a self-defeating mindset. Number 2, you stuff your emotions. Number 3, you refuse to take action. Number 4, you hold on to forced incompetence. Also, number 5, you socially isolate. Number 6, you are unnecessarily self-sacrificial. And then the final one, number 7, which is real serious, you abuse alcohol and drugs, man. Don't chase no feeling, man. And a person told me one long time ago, Reverend A. Van Odom told me, you ain't never got to worry about quitting something you don't never start in the first place.
Yeah, that one that first, the self-defeating. That's that cocktail I was talking about the other day, where you get no self-esteem or no self-esteem, depression, and then you bring on that hopelessness. That's a nasty cocktail, and I've had to deal with that.
Oh yeah, that's like a step away from suicide.
Damn it, it's down to self.
Yeah, you talking about hopeless? You said low self-esteem. What was the third one?
Depression. Because you got low self-esteem. I didn't realize it because I thought.
Low self-esteem,
was being
hopelessness, and depression.
Comes in. I'm going to finish by saying that's when you have those thoughts about where you're just going to die anyway.
Right. So what's the use of even trying?
What's the point of anything?
Right.
We're all going to die.
Right. But see, look at it like this. That's a good point. Because when he first came in, his attitude was horrible, and he could have kept that same attitude, like we all going to die. And here goes this man stacking money in the bank. Job, turn his life around.
Fresh thought about life. That's the main
Perspective has changed about life. Come on, man. Now, can you say to yourself, with all of that happened in your life, can you really say now that what's the use?
No, that's not me anymore.
Right. Because you know now it's a purpose. And if you do the right thing, you get some results.
Yeah.
That should be encouragement for everybody, man.